Hey guys, this is Locke. Welcome to my guide on the Carbuncle raid. So I'm going to go through some easy compositions that if you have the best units for this raid, how you can tackle it, and then afterwards I will go through some of the some ideas of what to do if you don't have the best units. So I've been able to solo it with just Dwayne, basically using this build that I have here until about raid number 74, around then. Maybe I could have gotten a little better if I optimized it, but I didn't really. I just stuck with this. I mean, his bravery is only a 95, so I could have at least increased it by 2%. Maybe so if I make those changes and like use a better Esper or something, maybe I would have gotten it better. But around 74 is fine. And then I started duoing it with Black Rose Helena, and it was very, very easy. I didn't even have to optimize it at all. It was already there. So the main idea is that the Carbuncle has 4 adds, and they all spawn very close to each other. So if you have on your second slot, so like my Black Rose Helena, if you have somebody that can do AoE damage in a range 2 square, so for her I'll show you what that square looks like. She uses her Limit Burst, this skill. You can see the range. It has a range of basically 2 squares from the target. So if you can use a skill like that, she can take care of all the adds and attack the boss on the first turn. And then after that, Dwayne and her basically just kill the boss very easily. I think they're almost always hit for max damage. So you can see, for example, like I'm only using this vision card, the Black Rose of the Battlefield. I didn't use this one or something because I didn't need to. They're already both hitting for max damage or close to max damage with just this setup. So I don't have to do that. Also, Kiza's Bells is not necessary on Dwayne. He actually doesn't use it. I have this skill turned on. Where is it? Atonement. I left this one on. I left off his other buffs, but this one left on because on the first turn, he uses this buff on himself and Black Rose Helena, increasing both their slash attack. And he doesn't really get a chance to use the bells because he never gets a chance after to use his second buff, and that's okay. He still has enough AP to attack the boss, and then I think he does one normal hit and then he kills the boss before he really needs a chance to get more AP. So I don't actually need to use Kiza's Bells for this raid if I'm using Dwayne and Black Rose Helena. Now with the Black Rose Helena and this raid, so the Carbuncle on the very first turn uses a skill called Reflect, and it reflects any magic attacks that you cast on it. So she can't use any of her normal magic attack skills. So for example, all these skills I have turned off because that will get reflected. I left Drain on, but she doesn't really get a chance to use Drain. Most of the time she's using her Spellblade skills because these are not magic attacks, these are slash attacks. You can see over here where it shows you the icon, it's a magic damage slash icon, so it does magic slash attack. So this will go through the reflect barrier and it will do damage. Very interestingly, her Limit Burst, Tenable Rose, for some reason this skill is not reflected. So I left the skill on, and it is great to clear all the mobs on the first turn. If you are using this vision card like I am, you have to turn it off because this skill can get reflected. You can actually see the icon here. This is the icon that shows that it gets reflected. I don't see it on the skills though. Let me double check. Oh, actually I do see it on the skills. Here you go. So over here you can see the skills that can be reflected. So all these skills can be reflected. The only one that cannot is Drain. And then under her Spellblade sub, all these skills can go through. None of them get reflected. So I can use that to deal damage, because if I don't do that, if I use the Black Rose Witch skills, then they'll get reflected back to me and I'll take damage. So I don't want to do that. Now if you don't have Black Rose Helena, I actually found that this would work exactly the same if I use Ruinstern instead of Black Rose Helena. So here I've changed to this vision card because it gives you slash attack up of 35 for the whole party. And here I turned off his buffs, so I make sure that he uses the bells, Kiza's Bells on first turn. For doing the same setup, I mean, so again, I wasn't really using Kiza's Bells last time anyway. I was just putting it there for the agility. So now, like, he doesn't really get a chance to use this, so I can use anything. I don't have to use this. I can use something like this or whatever. I just have to make sure that it's a TMR that he's not going to prioritize over the atonement buff, because the atonement is nice. He gives both himself and the other unit plus slash attack, and he gives himself defense penetration. The defense penetration isn't really that useful until later on, and by that time it'll be gone anyway. So it's mainly for the slash attack, but it is a good buff. So the main thing though is in both of these compositions, like I have an AoE unit. I have Ruinstern and Black Rosalina. Ruinstern has this skill called Hazard Crusher, which has the same effect. So I want this unit to go before Dwayne. Otherwise, Dwayne is going to waste a turn by using his smaller AoE skills on the ads instead of attacking the boss. So in both of these compositions, I have to make sure that this unit on the second slot, which can do the AoE, has a higher agility. So in this case, she has 99 and he has 98. And in this case, Ruinstern has 95 agility and Dwayne has 82. So again, his agility doesn't need to be high, but it just has to be lower than Ruinstern's. So I can probably actually increase it a little bit by putting this or something. But anyway, so these are two ideas for a dark team that would work. So the next idea I have is I started with this and I said, look, I want to make sure that I'm using these unit bonuses, right? Because I think that's really you want to take advantage of these 50% extra bonus. For the vision cards, you actually don't have to use these vision cards. If you have them in your roster, you don't have to equip them to get the effect. So you just have to use one of the 5 units. Well, ideally one of the 5, but if you don't have those 5, you can use one of these 4 or one of these 3. But ideally, you would like to use one of these 5 units, and everybody should have Crowell. So my next idea, I put Crowell, but he's very low level. So I didn't put any espers on him or anything. I purposely left him at a low level with no esper to make sure that he takes the least amount of turns possible. So this is the build that I actually had for him. I put Thanks for the Votes on him, and I put Winter Holiday Party. So this team, I feel maybe people can kind of have something similar to this if you don't have the best units for it, because Tidus was free. So I hope people max Tidus, and Ilydra you can get from the mock shop. Hopefully you have her leveled up. I mean, you have to really use what you have, right? If you have a dark slash team, if you have a team like this is perfect. But if you don't have a team like that, you have to use what you have. And maybe you have something maybe you have a really good light team. Maybe you have Yuna and Sakura or something, or Yuna and Elsra or something like that, right? And you think that you can clear it with that team. If you are able to clear it with a duo, if I'm able to clear it, for example, with Tidus and Ilydra by themselves, neither of them are a bonus unit. So I actually I get 953 points. But if I clear it solo, so solo means if I take 4 units to the party and one of them is a bonus unit, I get something like 900 points. So the difference is so small that if I'm running a party of 2 and neither of them are a bonus unit, if I can make it work, that's great. But I wouldn't stress about it. I would try to run solo, meaning I would try to run a 4-man party and make sure I have a bonus unit in there. Now this is a 4-man party, but I actually left the 4th slot open because I don't need it. I could do it with Tidus and Ilydra, and I just have this guy here as a bonus unit, but he's level 60. His agility is only 38. I'm trying to make his agility as low as possible. I mean, sure, this is giving him 5 more agility, but I'm not equipping him. I'm not equipping an Esper for that reason, because I want him to be slow so he doesn't take so many turns. And then here, so Tidus is fast because he's just really fast, a lot faster than Ilydra. But I gave Ilydra this TMR that I'm making sure that she uses, because what happens now is that she uses the TMR on her first turn, and her AI is programmed that if she uses a skill that targets herself, she doesn't move. So she saves 20 CT. So on the next turn, she actually gets to go first, and she will run up and use her taunting spell and take care of the closer ads, so that Tidus can go and use his spear shot. And otherwise, he will use his taunting blade and waste a lot of AP. But this way, he only uses 10 AP, so he saves a lot more AP, and he's good to go. So I was able to clear with this team, and I think I will show you a run of that. After I show you a run of that, I'll probably show you a run of the Ruinstern and Dwayne team. I think that, you know, if I can do it with this team, I'm pretty sure you'll take my word that I can do it with this team as well. So yeah, I will do this one first because I think it's the most interesting one. And if you're struggling with this, you don't have the units. This is probably something similar to what you can do. Maybe you don't have Tidus and Ilydra built up. Maybe you have like two other light units or two other I don't know, like wind units or something, right? Maybe you have something else. But if you can, this is an idea to show you that hey, you can do it with like the two units that you have. Hopefully one of them or both of them are level 120, and you can just bring a third. Unit like a unit that gives you the max bonus points, and you can do it that way. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm just going to show you the runs of these so you can see how they look like. Maybe I missed explaining something and it's covered in the run. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to stop talking. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have other questions or comments, please let me know below. And yeah, I hope to see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.
This battle shall be ours. I know your angle.
I will take back these arms. Let's get them!
I know your angle. I can take it. Tap. I know your angle. I can take it. All according to calculation. I can take it. Take this! All according to calculation.
I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
Darkness is my
My
strength.
power overflows. This is it for you. Take this. Disgraceful. This is it for you. Seems they were no match for my dark